Okay, I'm just gonna record it so I can kind of talk and like look at it or whatever. By the way, the reason why there's two massive black bezels is because I use a wide, ultra wide monitor, so don't mind the black bezels. As for now, I'm looking at it. Ball. Okay, cool. First thing off, just before I even start, team composition. Kiri Bap isn't the best for ball. I find it hard for them both to be able to heal the ball too much, which isn't usually a huge issue. But it just kind of leaves a little bit to be desired. When I play ball, I prefer usually playing like Zen Brig, not Kiri. I didn't mean to say that. Zen Brig, usually Lucio. I guess Kiriko a little bit. Just like self-sufficient supports. Zen I wouldn't call self-sufficient, but when he has a Brigitte, it kind of bounces out a little more. But Zen and Ball have really, really good like synergy together because Ball can very easily move and go attack the Discord Orb target. But that's just whatever. As for DPS, Bastion's like a slow character when we're playing a more fast comp. Pharah's like okay, but you know, without a mercy pocket, she's just kind of meh. She can be alright. If you're a good Pharah player, you can get away with it, but like, you know, it's how it be. So the team comp isn't perfect. Could be better, could be worse. As for on this map, obviously you don't really know where the enemies are positioned quite yet, but usually they're going to be positioned around this area. Maybe someone on high ground. They have a Widow already sitting on high ground. That's really weird. Like when I'm Widow, I usually like sitting back here first, so it's a little safer. They have an Echo on the flank. So another thing you need to be ready for is some people like to pull this weird flank off from starting from behind. They could be down in this little room right here, because you know they have this Mega right down there. Or yeah, they'll be like where this Echo is, wrapped all the way around the edge. So sometimes you need to be wary of flank. That's not necessarily something you should always check, because usually people don't do that. It's just something that, you know, just put it in the back of your mind type of thing. D.Va. Obviously, you don't know their team comp just yet, but this is a team comp that, in my opinion, is pretty strong against Ball. I mean, there's not much you can do against Echo. She'll just run away. Widow, obviously, Ball is going to be pretty strong against that. He's a dive. Widow's countered by dive. But as for D.Va, D.Va can chase around Ball a lot. That's kind of an issue. Baptiste and Illari can both kind of just pump damage on you, and if they keep each other up, then neither of them are going to die to you. So you'd have to perform like a lot better dives. But at the same time, they could get caught out if they have bad ability usage and your team is able to play with you, which the main issue with Bastion and Pharah is they can't play with you the best. Pharah could do like poke damage that you can play off of, but that would require you to do a little bit more damage to make up for the lack of like Tracer or Sombra or even Genji like chasing you around and helping you confirm all your kills. Of course, you don't know their team comp just yet. The doors haven't even opened. But I'm just saying, in general, just for you to be wary that if you're ever wanting to play ball, that's just something, you know, in the back of your mind, you got to be ready for. All right, but let's start it off.
One. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Okay. Yeah, I like this. I guess just go on the... Did their Echo immediately fly up? No, that was the BAP that I saw. Echo still on flank. Okay. Yeah, just... I guess, yeah, just try to start an opening pick or something. Good. So yeah, going for Widow is a good start. You kind of just unfortunately missed. It's something that comes with a little bit of practice. You start missing a little bit less. I'm going to turn down my game just in case, because I don't think I'm talking super duper loud. Real quick. Okay, so just in case it gets really loud, I don't really know. Game audio doesn't matter that much right now. To maintain fire, you usually want to get a little bit more distance. But if you can't, there's the new retract thing. I like using retract a lot. It's actually really strong. It can kind of create this thing that I like to call a slingshot tech. But I don't think it's super useful right now. Just remember that retract does exist. It is something you can do. So if you want to get to high ground like that, you kind of went a very, very slow way about doing it. But instead, you could have, like, say, attached up to this area right here and retracted instead of just doing your little slow wind up that you kind of just did there. Other than that, though, just, you know, a little bit of practice with the ball movement. Comes with time. I like how you pressure Widow off high ground, though. That's good. So, yeah, you kind of just want to pressure him off high ground. That's kind of your job right now. If you can pressure him off high ground, that's good, because they want to be on high ground to get the best amount of their value. If they're harder to kill and stuff like that. You took a lot of damage there. You want to be very, very careful about that. Sometimes you just got to unattach your grapple. Okay, you want to kill ball? Right? Or ball and then BAP. Okay, you're kind of leaving your team in the dust right now. Don't leave them in your team in the dust. Luckily, they are figuring it out. They're getting multiple kills here, but you kind of like, you just left your team. You gotta be wary. You gotta play with your team. If your team's getting dove by a D.Va like this, which they very much are going to do if you dive in their backline and that D.Va's holding close, just, you gotta know you gotta go help them. And I like that you're trying to kill Pylon, but Pylon is not that big of an issue usually. I think right now it's a lot better if you can focus on killing that D.Va. Like what you could be doing right now is instead going like into fire form, booping this D.Va towards your team. All of a sudden she becomes a lot easier to kill, or she has to use more resources to leave. Try to make it up like to this high ground, back out this way, but then all of a sudden she has no fly. Your team can meet them at this door. Stuff like that. So, you know, just attempting to get this kill on this D.Va would be a little bit more last worthy than trying to snipe a pylon even. Like, you usually want to, even if you're trying to kill pylon, your damage spread, you're not doing that much to that thing. I'm gonna be real. So just at least go a little bit closer to the pylon if you're trying to kill it. Allari is being alone here. You could either dive Allari, try to go off the fact that their D.Va is distracted. You can try to kill the Allari. I don't know why your BEP is trying to do this. But you know, just don't leave your team. That's a big thing. Don't leave your team to go focus on a pylon. That's pretty much what I mean. Okay, you can go for the Allari. Excuse me. Nice. Alright, yeah, just go for point. Try to get D.Va to step off. Nice. Okay, D.Va did die. So it did work out for your team, but sometimes it will not work out. So sometimes, yeah, you gotta help out with that D.Va. Okay, use retract here. I like it. Do not. Okay. I don't know what their Echo was doing, but in that situation, just try to go faster. Try to catch the Echo off guard, because she kind of just didn't do anything. Like, look at this from the Echo's POV. There we go. Literally just didn't know you were doing anything. Oh, no, did know you're doing something, but was just not that threatened by it. You should be a threatening force on tank. Doesn't matter the tank you're playing, you should always try to, like, scare them. In that case, you kind of just went a little bit slow, so try to speed it up a tiny bit. You know, that's another thing where you just get a little bit used to ball movement. He's not an easy character to pick up movement-wise. That's kind of the part that's so challenging about him. Ooh, your shield usage. That was a big thing. You kind of just popped it for pretty much no reason. There was not much damage for you to be taking. It was just a Baptiste. So be wary. That is a long cooldown, your shield. And you did give it to your team, I think, pretty quickly there. But you can see it's like 15-second cooldown. That is a 15-second cooldown you just used because of Baptiste. One Baptiste was shooting at you. And this is one Baptiste shooting at you while you have your Kiriko right there. Was your Baptiste dead? I don't know where your Baptiste is. Where the hell? Okay, right there. Baptiste right behind you. Okay, like, he can heal you. Don't worry about that damage. Don't try to pop shields when you're just taking damage. You gotta pop it in a situation where you're not gonna be... you're gonna be taking damage. Like right here would be a little bit better of a scenario because you could be taking a lot of damage. Like bam, would have been nice right there. You did make it out again, but you know, again, it's not about scenarios that worked out this time. It's about scenarios that work out most of the time. Nice. I like how you. Okay, Baptiste distracted. Try to get this pick. Oh, you kind of just left him. You probably should have just went for that kill, like right now. Like I'm trying to think. So, like, yeah, if you just went for that kill instead, you could have possibly found a pick, and finding a pick, you know, very, very useful. So, you know, just basic stuff. Yeah, finding a Baptiste again. Baptiste low. Okay. Okay. In that case, alright, so in that case, what I would have wanted you to do a little bit more is grapple like up here, possibly use a retract if you need to, and slam on them. You need to look for times to slam. Slam is really good ability, CC ability. So, you know, go a little bit in the air, press crouch in midair, hit the slam. It does like 100-something damage, I think. It is great ability, probably one of the best CC abilities that you have. Crowd control. It knocks your team into the air, makes them really easy to shoot at, makes them easy to follow up, or you know, in general, just does damage, gives you good ult charge. Because if you land 3 people with one slam, that's like 100 damage to each of them, like 300 damage. That's a lot of ult charge. Stuff like that, and it could have helped you kill the Allari. It could have helped you kill the Baptiste faster. Like stuff like that. It's just in general would have been probably overall better for you. I see you're not really slamming that often, and I would want you to do it just a little bit more when you're playing ball. Okay, I get what you're doing here. You're trying to stall a little bit, but you kind of have no reason to stall here. Your team is still recuperating. I would say literally just wait back here. Or if anything, like, position yourself for a next fight. You know, you can come up here. You can come all the way up here into this high ground. Like, they may know you're there. I don't know. Your Pharah keeps going in early. But at the same time, you have no reason to be down here right now. Your team isn't ready for this fight. I guess it does give you a bit of ult charge, and they kind of just let you win that for some reason, because I think they're distracted by the Pharah. But, like, okay, yeah, like that time. I want you to do that. Okay, okay. I don't know if there's much for me to say. I think you might be able to pick out why that wasn't the best ult. Long story short, there's no one here, bro. They're not gonna be coming from here. This is something that you know, their entire team's right here. Sojourn's sliding in even, I think. Yeah. Don't ult back here. Usually when you're ulting, okay, a good way to think about it, especially like on a payload map, you need to ult where either their team wants to go, or where their team, if they're like stacked on a certain point, you know, like a choke, like going up here, doing it right here where they all are would be a lot better, meaning that even if they wanted to back up, or you can hit it like under the bridge, so if they backed up, they would have to back up into the mines, or they would have to go this way, which means you're forcing them to go one way, which is a little more disadvantageous. Stuff like that. So you just want to put your ult in a spot where either they want to back up or it forces them out of a position that they're currently in. That's kind of how Minefield usually works. It is a solid ult. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. You know, it's just a solid ult. But that ult, not very good, and you can't really get much value out of it. Okay. Ooh. Shielder, yeah. Okay, you didn't need to give your shields to your team. They weren't really taking damage. Okay. Let your Baptiste heal you up, bro. You're still like half HP. Wait to be full before you start making plays like that where you're diving into their team. Your team did find first pick, which is good, but you gotta wait for a sec. Your team didn't heal you to full. They're probably even worried about Bastion right now. Like, don't make them worried about you for any reason. Like, you pushed in too early. Like, look at your team. You pushed in too early. You gotta be ready for your team to be able to push in. Okay, so now you're getting healed up. Don't push in early yet. Okay, you're at least mostly full. That time is fine. I guess just work on your tracking a tiny bit. Again, stuff that just comes with time. That one I can't really correct by itself. Because it doesn't really help much to just say, yeah, aim better. In this case, because you just took so much damage, yeah, you kind of got to back out. But your team's... It's just... You're just dead. They used ults. Happens. Your guys' ult usage wasn't very good. Their ult usage was solid. It worked out for the better for them. Okay, you need to worry about your HP a little bit more. Obviously, you were like 500 there out of 700, which is fine, but it's not the best. Okay. When you're playing Bull and you want to stay like in fire mode and you're trying to move, my recommendation is to stay on the ground. You kind of just jumped into the air for no reason and you lost all your momentum. But in this case, you could have kept rolling. You could have been out here. You could have been shooting earlier, and you're harder to hit when you're not in the air. And when you're in the air, you become like your arc becomes obvious. People can shoot at you a little bit easier. I don't think they necessarily did, but you know, they could have. You know, something like that. So staying on the ground if you're just moving like that. If you wanted to jump in the air, maybe go grab high ground, peek even high ground, which I don't think you really did. But if you wanted to, then it would make a little more sense. But in that case, you would have to jump a little bit higher to be able to, like, say, peek high ground and watch low ground at the same time. Kind of just get a lay of the land type of thing in one single jump. But yeah, you didn't do that though, so it's either you jump higher or just stay on the ground. You're faster when you stay on the ground. The D.Va's just flying across. Focus D.Va here, yeah. What is it? What is it doing? Okay, I think a way that could help out with your movement is try to be a little more methodical with it. Like, think about what you want to do before you start doing it. Think about what you want to do, how you're going to do it. You know, Ball is literally just simple geometry. When you move in an arc, you move quicker. When you're in fire mode, you move quicker. Stuff like that. Like, you can kind of just feel it out. So, like, it is something that you get used to over time. Like, okay, I actually kind of like that move. You almost fell off the map, but I kind of like that where, you know, you hit all of them, do a little bit of poke damage, and kind of reposition and mess them up a little bit. It's a good slam. You're taking a lot of damage. You want to heal up. Okay. You just left your Kiriko. Your Kiriko is trying to heal you. Don't ditch your Kiriko when she's trying to heal you. She wants that ult charge. She does have full ult, but in a situation where she doesn't have ult, she wants that ult charge. Don't let your Kiriko heal you. You don't need to solely rely on health packs.
Watch out for that enemy.
You're ditching your Kiriko heals again. You're changing the line of sight. Okay. In this scenario, you probably didn't see it in the moment, but your Kiriko wants to heal you. Your Kiriko is literally trying to, but you cut your angle off. You're behind the cart. Your Kiriko can't see you very well. Obviously, in this scenario, it kind of can see you, but like it's halfway cut off by this cart. So like either play back here, play on the right side, or just, you know, on top of the cart. Because in this scenario, you're putting yourself in a bad spot. You can't be healed, and as you can see, you're a third HP. You kind of just gotta let your supports heal you. You gotta remember where your team is. Always be wary of where your team is. Okay, you ran away for your heals again, and then you activated shields. Don't activate shields when there's no enemies. You're not taking damage. There was no enemies up here. Well, I think Sojourn was... Okay, there was a Sojourn, but you weren't fighting them. You were dropping off. So when you're dropping off like that, don't pop your shields. Those are pretty much completely useless shields. That's a 15-second cooldown you just wasted. That's just the truth. And you're still not letting your team heal you up. You're dodging your Baptiste, you're dodging your Kiriko. They're both trying to look at you. They're both trying to heal you. Look, both of them are literally looking to heal you. You gotta let your team heal you, bro. You gotta let your team heal you. They want that ult charge. Okay. You're looking for mines, I think? Okay. You were too focused on landing those mines. You kind of just rolled around and dropped mines. In this situation, you lost your both DPS. It is not unsalvageable because the D.Va is out of mech, but you lost 2. You have 2 picks down. They just lost their mech. This mines wasn't perfect. And on top of that, I think you should have went for something. Again, it's another thing where it's like you don't want to back into it. This area right here is a solid place for them to hold because they can get a little bit of line of sight from the cart. They can like hide behind you a little bit. But in the end, most people are going to be holding on this bridge. Most people are going to be like where this Baptiste is, like all the way down over here. Or, you know, Sojourn. There's Sojourn just watching on high ground. Free high ground. I think you should contest their Sojourn because no one's contesting your Sojourn. You would be... Either you or the Pharah should be contesting it, but as you can see, Pharah's dead. I don't even know where the Pharah died. Bastion just died to the Torb because he was, well, to be frank, out of position. His supports didn't see him either. You guys just aren't playing as a team. And that's not easy when you're playing with randoms, but that's just, you know, that's something you gotta work on. Something that you just kind of get better at over time. But the mines, they were better than your first mines, I will say. But again, they're just in a scenario, they're not in an area where enemies are trying to walk to. You're not really shutting down much. And that's, I think, is Ball's best thing to do. Okay. That time you just died. You weren't full HP, both your DPS are dead. You pretty much had all the aggro. It's just an unfortunate death. Either, I think you wanted to either back out there and try to run away with your supports, or you just take the death. So, I think that's fine either way. Not a huge deal that you died there. It's just a lost team fight. Okay. What were the shields for? Even though you did give them to your team just got like 25 shield. That is not that substantial, to be honest. Don't pop your shields just to give them 25 shields. You want to be popping shields when you have a ton, because you can give them 75 shields. 75 shields is going to be way better than 25, believe it or not. That allows, like, Tracer, one of the most aggressive characters in the entire game, to have 250 HP, and that is disgustingly good. Tracer, if Tracer had 250 HP right now, she'd be undoubtedly the greatest character in the entire game. Literally, undoubtedly, best character in the whole game. It's just, that's how broken that would be. And, she has 175, and she's still considered, like, one of the best DPS in the entire game. So, like, just think about that. If she had another 75 HP, that's how strong this shield giving to your teams could be. But you used it pre-fight, and it only lasts for 3 seconds on your team. That's another thing. Shields on your teammates only last for 3 seconds. That's not going to be very long. You want to do that middle of a fight. Maybe, like, in this case, you can argue, like, oh, you wanted to do it for the D.Va Bomb. But your team has 2 immortalities. You have both Suzu out of Kiriko, or you have Lamp out of Baptiste, and they might end up using both on accident. And someone even might die. But I'm saying 25 shields ain't gonna help them. It's gonna be those bigger cooldowns like the Suzu or the immortality to help them. Yeah, your team die. Okay, your team shouldn't have died there. I'm gonna be real. They shouldn't have died. It's just, again, lack of communication. In a scenario where you're playing with your team with full comms, you can say like, hey, let's all hide in a Baptiste lamp. Just like peek behind cover. So like Bomb was just like, what, up here in the air somewhere like this? So what you could be doing, either you can sit down here, pop a lamp right here, your entire team 5 stacks. Their teammate can't push in quick enough. You guys get to survive. You can heal up even, give your Baptiste tons of ults, and then you just walk around the corner, Curie ult, Bap ult, whatever, something, run them over. But yeah, just sometimes you just gotta call them like, hey, let's all sit under lamp so you can survive the D.Va Bomb. But 2 of your teams died. Now in this case, just back out. Don't fight anymore. Don't go back in. Yeah, you gave your shield security. I did like that. That was good. She did end up dying, but just there's not much you can do. It was already a lost team fight, Kiriko. That's just how it goes. Your Popping shields too early again. You have... When you don't pop shields with enemies, you're not getting very much out of it. You're getting just like a little bit. Like you can see by your HP, you don't have that much overhealth. That's like, what, 50? 50 overhealth compared to a full 775 HP character? 50 is not much. Not saying it isn't useful. I'm not saying it can't break certain break points where you would have died, but you didn't. I'm just saying, because it's such a long cooldown, you want to get as much value as you can out of that cooldown. I think that's been one of your biggest issues, is just shield management. You got to be better with it. You got to do it where you can. What my friend likes to do, he does this a lot. Pre-fight, what he'll sometimes do is he'll just go in, dive in, slam. Don't even get out of ball form. Stay in ball form. Slam into them. Do the extra, get some damage, get some ult charge. Grab your shields, then just run. Dip back to team. Now you have ults, and if you're... Now you have ults. Now you have extra shields, a couple extra. Like in this case, you can grab 3 people, which will be like 75 times 3. Like, I think something like that. I think it's either 50 or 75 times 3. Which, you know, that'd be a lot more substantial HP. Maybe it's... I can't remember the exact amount. I'm going to be real. It might be 100. I cannot remember for the life of me. But either way, 3 people is going to be more than 0 people when it comes to adding shields. So doing that and then just running away. That's not something I always recommend. I'm just saying you would find more value out of shields doing that than what you're currently doing with just popping it behind a wall when there's no enemies on you. So yeah, pay attention to that little meter, that little 2 meter right there. Okay, fight the Sojourn. Yeah. Good, good, good. Okay, okay. You can kill Torba too. Nice, nice. Your fire just died. That's unfortunate. Your fire's not doing the best this game, they're dying a lot. Their Sojourn's ripping your team apart. Kill the Sojourn. Turn around, try to kill the Sojourn. Just Sojourn just walked behind you. You didn't even turn around. There's Sojourn right there? Half HP. Just melting your team right now. If you just turned around, possibly at least focus them a little bit. You don't even need to necessarily kill them. You just need to distract them for a second. They wouldn't have gotten the kill. Probably not killing the kill in the Bastion. And I think they got one more kill. Yeah, definitely wouldn't have gotten the kill in the Baptiste. You had plenty of opportunities. So just... You gotta watch your team. You're playing a little bit too self-sufficient. This is a team game. You gotta pay attention to your team. Back out. Okay. I know you're trying to contest, which is good, but you can still shoot at the Sojourn while on cart. That's nothing. You can shoot at the Sojourn while on cart. And yeah. Okay, now you got a touch point. It's overtime. You gotta go. Okay, good touch, good touch. Now you gotta stand point. You popped shields too early yet. You weren't even taking damage yet, and you already popped it. You can pop mines on cart here to try to get them off. Back up for a sec. You gotta be careful though. You gotta touch! Oh. You're playing a little bit too careful. Sometimes you just gotta die on point to maintain overtime. It's not the best, but like in that scenario, what you could have done is you could have stayed right under the bridge, like right here. This would have been like under the bomb, because the bomb was actually like above the bridge. You could have been right here, or just trusted that your immortality would save you. He threw down immortality. You could stand right on the edge. Even if you did get hit by the bomb, you wouldn't have died, and you would have been contesting cart. You guys wouldn't have lost that round right there. And you ended up losing with ult, which is a little bit of a no-go, but it happens. It's okay. Alright, now Hog. I kind of like Hog on the defense, you know, a little more consistent. A lot of survivability, a little more solo play, which I think you've been doing a lot of. You've been doing a lot of solo play. Okay, okay. Are you gonna get this? Nice. Great pick, great pick. It was a little sloppy, but in the end, you got the kill. That's all that matters. I don't think you heard a single player. They're okay. They're Lucius pulling off the master flank right now. Pulling off. If you didn't know, you can wall ride right around the edge of this. Go all the way behind. Their D.Va's flanking as well. You're still looking down main. I mean, May's about to shoot you, so I think you should turn around. You're probably going to turn around here? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Don't be too focused on the May. Don't be too focused on the May. There's a D.Va still behind. You haven't even seen their tank yet. You should probably be a little bit worried about that. Okay, just back out. Just back out. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna be real. That death was on you. You played way too much by yourself. You gotta pay attention to where your team is. Your supports weren't able to help you. That one, I'm just gonna say that was on you. You gotta remember where your team is. You gotta know where your team is. That's a big thing. Know where your team is. Sometimes it doesn't work out where teams aren't fit very well, so I'm not like blaming all of it on you. I mean, that death, that was pretty much on you. But I'm not blaming every single misfortune. You know, I'll talk about it at the end of the game, never mind. As for now, just play with your team. Just play with your team. Okay, big pick. Try to find D.Va if you can. Nice. Good. Now, yeah, you can start walking to him a little bit. Don't be scared. You can take a lot of damage first before you're scared. Especially when you have a full healing meter. Nice. You can heal a little more than that. It's okay. Oh, just an unfortunate miss. If you got that would have been nasty if you got that Lucio. It's all good though. It's all good. Okay, catch D.Va. Perfect. Perfect. Good fucking hook. You're doing a lot better on Hog than you were the ball. I'm gonna be real. I like what you're thinking with the trap, where you're keeping it there so they like can't flank or whatever. But I'm gonna be real, since you're literally watching it, there's kind of no reason for that. I would rather you put it like if you instead of putting it down there, literally put it like in this corner right here. Because what you could do is you could walk around, hook them into the trap. They get damage from the trap, they get damage from your shot, and damage from your team. Your team's pretty far back right now, except for your Baptiste. Your Baptiste thugging it out with you, okay? Helps you get one-shot kills. So again, another thing is be wary of your team. You literally sometimes just physically look around. Just click on your right stick, just turn around. See where your team is. If your team is not with you, sometimes you gotta back up. It's not easy. I'm not saying they should be back there. I'm just saying you gotta be aware that they could be back there. That piece is real far in. Coming Hog, yeah. Play this corner. I like it. Okay. Like counter hook almost. Oh, good, you got rid of copy. Echo died. Perfect. Okay, don't ignore the D.Va. Don't ignore the D.Va. That D.Va at any time could just go in there. D.Va has a lot of DPS. She could just kill people if not contested well enough. And since you don't have a Bastion, they only have a fucking like Torb contesting them, and like I guess a Curie and a Bep. But I don't necessarily know how good those Curie and Bep are for how much damage output they're gonna get on that D.Va. So in this case, just turn around. Take the 4v1. It'll be a lot more beneficial for you guys. Okay, great hook. So in the end, you did get the pick, which is really good. But if your team died here, that one pick wasn't going to be worth it. If you can't kill D.Va, that turns into 2 picks, which is great. I will say, you should have turned around sooner, but you did get a pick, so honestly, you kind of made it worth it that you didn't turn around. But again, sometimes D.Va will just explode your backline, so you just gotta be careful about that. Overall, fine though. It worked out. That one was not the worst misplay you've made, I would say. And it's not even necessarily a misplay. Okay. Yep. Nice. Good shit. Good shit. Your Hog is doing way better. I think you're just really a really self-sufficient player. I did not mean to hit that. You're just like a really self-sufficient player, so Hog actually kind of works well in your case. Because Hog can heal himself, Hog can focus on getting picks himself. It's really useful. Ball is not the best for that. Ball is a very team-oriented character, and you'd think he'd be very he is like self-sufficient in and of himself, but he can't make plays by himself like Hog can. Hog can make plays a lot easier by himself. Sometimes you just gotta get in there and just be a raid boss. Like, they're not gonna be able to kill you. You can just go in there and tank their ass. Okay, good. A little bit of strength, I like it. Just pressure them, yeah. Just sit in this corner and pressure them, that's good. Because they're not gonna be able to push you very well. Oh, you gotta get that reload off. I've done that too many times. Just getting a hook without any ammo. In this case, just don't even overpeak. You overpushed it. Their team is right here, you're back here. You're literally in the middle of their team. If they had, say, a Mei, like, I think at one point they did have a Mei. If they still had that Mei, you could be walled off right here, but they just wall off this door, you're dead. There's no surviving that. It doesn't matter how much HP you have, you're just gonna get booped, you're gonna get locked in here, you're dead. You overpeaked it. If you don't have the ammo and you land a hook and you don't have the ammo, just walk away. It's gonna be super hard to get that kill, because now their supports are gonna be able to help their Echo. If you just keep going for melees, so just walk away. Okay, D.Va's behind again. You gotta kill that D.Va. Okay, kill D.Va. Nice. Echo back main, yeah. Perfect. Good hook. They're honestly playing really close. You can punish this. Okay. Oh, it was alright. It was alright. Could be better, but it got you picks. 60 seconds down the clock, that's good. Your team did use 2 ults there, which isn't too bad. So you have ults coming up. You have 3 ults on this. This is not impossible. But you did say your team sold this, so I'm not assuming it went well. Great hook, though. That was a good hook. Baptiste ult absolutely overpushed, so good hook on him. Yep, cool. Yeah, heal allows you to survive it, like, really well. So just back out, kill D.Va again. Their D.Va's, like, pretty much throwing for their team. I'm gonna be real. Playing way too early. But now you got a Reaper in your back. Yep. Focus that Reaper. Try to get that pick. Yeah, the Reaper just made it into your backline. That is unfortunate. Sometimes it just happens. Okay. Yeah. Second point. Oh, not yet. Oh, don't push in. Yeah, good, good, good. Now we're just going to want to play corner. You're going to wait for your team to reset. I want a full reset out of your team before you even think about pushing in. Taking a lot of damage, just run away. So in this case, I would have actually ran away indoors. I would have went this way. Because not only is it a shorter path to make it back to your team, if they did want to follow you, like, they're going to need a full team effort to be able to kill one Roadhog. Not just like a single Baptiste and a Moira. You don't take that much damage from them. If you went this way, shorter path, and if they go inside a room, you don't want to get caught inside a room with a massive fucking pig, let's be real. It makes your hooks a lot easier, it makes your shotgun a lot stronger. Oh, I like it. You could have hooked them off the map. And now you're walking this way. Okay. Think about your team. You're trying to go on a flank kill. Your team's all back here. 3 of them went down main. Torb went high ground. You got to think about where your team is. I would have went high ground with the Torb. Don't play by yourself. Listen. Reaper is not someone you can get a one-shot off of. You actually don't want to pull him closer to you. D.Va, you're not going to one-shot her. You don't want to pull her closer. They both have shotguns. They have really good DPS. They can both shit on you. And you're by yourself. You don't want to fight this. Now you're 50 HP, and your supports aren't there to help you. I think they might make an effort. Nope, they don't even make an effort. Okay, you can't just say I need healing when your supports are nowhere near you. Now your Baptiste is trying to make a hero play to come in and heal you. You can't expect your team to do this. Like, does he get slept? No. Okay, I did see that wrong. Like, your Baptiste has literally just walked into line of fire to try to heal you. In this case, just back out. Just take the slower walk back and just walk all the way this way. It's a lot safer, and you're not risking your Baptiste's life so he can heal you. I'm gonna be real, your Bap should have died there. He didn't, somehow, but he should have died there. Okay, nice. You distracted him. Ah. Don't pop ult at that low HP, it's not good. Your Baptiste just got dove there. He's not gonna be able to help. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, he went high ground. Oh, that's another thing. Your Baptiste just wasn't with you. You gotta be aware of where your Baptiste is. Like, even I didn't know, but like, sometimes your Baptiste is just gonna go play on his own as well, just like how you want to play on your own. So you want high ground. You don't have a Baptiste with you. You're not getting any healing. Just run away. Try to survive. Don't pop ult when you're like half HP. Like in this case, you popped it at 200 HP. You're red. Everything's red and you popped it. Bam. You're already dead. You didn't even get a bullet out. It's just... Don't pop your ult in that scenario. I get what you were trying to do. You're trying to get some picks because they're almost about to make it, but you should have popped it. If you wanted to do that ult, you should have just did it way sooner. Yep. The team died, and that was a GG. Okay. As for the big overall things, you kind of played by yourself a lot. You gotta remember where your team is. Like, legitimately, just turn around and just look at where they are. It's very useful, especially when you're on tank. Just knowing where your team is. I actually recommend it on every role. If you like playing aggressive and you like playing by yourself, knowing where your team is, knowing when your team wants to start a fight. Yes, tanks do like decide in quotation. Like, yes, they will decide the fight, but that's not necessarily how it always goes. So you just gotta be wary. You gotta be ready for any scenario. Overall, I'm not like blaming everything on you. Your Pharah died a lot. Your team's kind of played weirdly. Your Baptiste went to like that high ground that one time. That's not that bad, but because you didn't do that and because of how close overtime was coming, I think either you guys both should have just stacked together. Either both of you go high ground or both of you stay on low ground. I don't know though. Your Baptiste shouldn't have ran through the middle of the fight to come heal you, though. That's another thing. As for character choices, Ball's very, very hard. His movement's really hard. He takes a lot of practice to get any good at. Roadhog, he seems like a lot better of a fit as a character for you. A lot more self-sufficient. He can heal himself. He can, and stuff like that. But you're not letting your team heal you. That happened on Roadhog-esque because like you kind of just you weren't aware where your team was. You kind of tried to make a lot of solo plays, which did work out occasionally, but didn't work out the entire game. That's a big thing you should worry about. Ball, you didn't let your team heal you like at all. You gotta let your team heal you, dog. You were like half HP pushing in. You're low, and you're not letting your team heal you. So just pay attention to where your team is. That's pretty much what I'm saying overall for all of this. But yeah, just keep practicing. Good luck.